we're Lisa and Martin, owners of Baddow House. We're sitting in Baddow House, which is Maryborough's probably most famous house, built in 1883. We've been here since 2016. It's an amazing property. A lot of work was done before we got here to restore it to close to its original state. It's a major property for Maryborough. It's been there's a lot of folklore about it, but it's a really great property. Triple brick, built by Fritz Kenning, who was a German guy. And he was amazing because in those days in Europe you were trained to do multi-trade. So he did the bricklaying, he did the carpentry, and he also did the plastering. So you wouldn't get that today. The water was bought from Uluru. There was no water laid on, so all the water was mixed locally. So amazing story that this house is still erect after all those years.
I think one of the nicest parts of this property is actually the outdoor area, because on that park, so it's very private here. You could be anywhere in the world really, and it's very secluded and it's very peaceful.
The most interest happens at open house time. We get 600 or 800 people, and it's a really social, wonderful day. But those people come from Bundaberg, from Brisbane, from quite a long way away, and many have memories of playing here in the 50s when the home was derelict. It was owned by the government after the 1940s. They're going to set up a hostel. They've done it in Toowoomba and Rockhampton, and it never happened. They bought it, it never actually turned into that. So it was really vandalised in that time. And a lot of young people came and the windows were broken, and that's where the stories of the cellar and the trapdoor and people being invited in to kiss. So there's lots of wonderful stories about the house. People really relate to it because in the 60s and early 70s it was set up as a function centre. So it had weddings and lots of people had birthdays here. So people remembered that, and there was a great love for it from Maryborough. Then it was dilapidated for quite a long time. Ian Russell and Anne Delisle did an amazing job, spent a lot of money on putting verandas back, refurbishing and sanding back acres of cedar. They really saved it, but if they hadn't done the work of underpinning, I think it would have been a major problem right now.
One of the great things about Baddow House was the restoration of the verandas. And the verandas were taken off around 1940, in the early time of the war. When Anne and Ian were looking to find the pieces to make the veranda, Peter Olds had kept some of the old cast iron. So the Olds foundry recast this in alloy, and this is what the verandas are made out of. But I think there's 460 panels like this. It would have been very heavy, which may have been one of the issues with the verandas. But the fact that the verandas went back on, it protected the house from the weather. When they were off, the brickwork, the woodwork wasn't designed to be wet, so that wet and dry caused a lot of movement. And eventually the house had to be underpinned because a major crack formed in the northern wall. You could actually put your hand through the crack. So that's all been fixed. It was fixed in Ian Russell's time. But over here is one of the two Beehive water tanks. They're actually connected. There's one here and one further down, and and there's a pump just here, and that actually has been used to pump water from the tank right up the top above the bathroom, and the water was pumped up there, and you had reticulated water in 1883 for dear Edgar and Maria to lie back and have a bath.
My name's Ken Brooks. I'm Cultural Services Officer for Fraser Coast Regional Council. One of my jobs here many years ago was to develop the Conservation Management Plan with Keystone Architects for Baddow House. Part of the importance of state-listed buildings is to document the history, prehistory, what happened to the house over a number of years, and its ultimate restoration. So early investigations showed that the evidence of the verandas existed when the house was worked through in the 1940s and the verandas demolished. There are remnants of the veranda foundations left underground. So investigating those foundations helped to reconstruct the exact position of the existing verandas. With the reconstruction of the verandas, it basically now holds the entire house together. So the new foundations for the verandas are completely separate to the verandas for the rest of the house, and so it helps bring that house into a more stable structural standing. There's always work that will happen with this particular house, and any heritage listed building for that matter, to make sure that any work that's done in the future will not compromise the original integrity of the house. And that's what's happened here. It's brought it back to its original life and bringing back to that life as a family home once again.